And welcome back. Right now, our 10 News breaking news tracker is still out on the roads monitoring the severe conditions. Not raining right now, but a big storm is headed our way overnight, as you can see on the radar there. So let's get you caught up on where the worst flooding is right now. Families are forced out of their homes tonight in Midtown because of a lot of severe flooding. Drivers are also trapped in their cars in Point Loma. 10 News cameras captured one just floating down the street earlier. And a 10 News viewer sent us this video while driving through Mission Hills. It's a little dark, but you can see the water is just rushing up over the curbs there. And we're joined on the phone right now by Sarah Knight, who had to evacuate when 5 inches of water came rushing into her apartment in Hillcrest.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Sarah, tell us what's happening in front of your place.
Hi. So earlier tonight, I heard the recycling bin tip over in front of the house, and I was curious as to what was going on. Because of the rain going on all night long. And then I opened up the door and water came flooding into the front room of our apartment. And then I turned around and water was coming in through our kitchen door as well underneath. So yeah, we got a few inches. It soaked the carpet, started seeping in through the kitchen, into the bathroom, and then into my bedroom a little bit.
That's a lot of damage there, Sarah. Looks like you're not going to be able to stay there tonight, we're assuming, right?
Yeah, so we left the apartment, we moved everything up onto beds and onto furniture, anything that might be damaged, and we unplugged all electronics, turned off the circuit breakers, and left the apartment and are staying at a friend's place tonight.
And we've had some rain throughout the winter months, but have you had this problem at all?
No, and I talked to my landlord tonight, actually, and he told us that this has never been a problem with this property prior to tonight. And the streets, when I came home from a class that I had at about 8 p.m., there were a good 5 to 6 inches of water in the streets as well. And then just walking in, like the whole front area of our apartment didn't seem too bad, but it definitely, once the rain really started coming down, that's when the water started rising. So it hasn't been a problem since we've lived there. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
We don't normally see this in Hillcrest. It's not one of the lower lying areas. What about your neighbors? Anybody else suffering from this type of flooding?
It seems like it hasn't really affected our neighbors. Our apartment itself is a little bit low lying compared to the buildings around it, and we aren't really on a raised foundation. So I think that's why we were primarily affected.
Right. Your pictures tell the whole story. We're sorry that you're put out, and you'll have to try to dry out your apartment and get back in as quickly as possible. Thank you for letting us share your story, and it's obvious just how quickly these rains have come in, and in this flash flood situation, which we have had a warning throughout parts of San Diego throughout the night. Thank you, Sarah Knight, for joining us. Happening now, residents in La Jolla are bracing for lots of rain as well. Runoff and the potential for landslides there. Heavy rains damaged homes and tore off decks back in 2005. 10 News reporter Dan Haggerty went back there with a geologist tonight. He's joining us with their diagnosis. Dan?
Well, we're getting those heavy rains again, right? There's no doubt about it. There's also no doubt that heavy rains can cause landslides, but the big scary landslides don't really go hand in hand with drought, which is what we're in. 10 years ago, this street in La Jolla dealt with something I'm sure they weren't thinking about with rain in the forecast.
I saw part of my hill collapsed.
5 homes got nailed by a landslide. At least 9 homes in La Jolla got red tagged while cleanup started.
The American dream that's becoming a nightmare.
And we're expecting similar weather overnight. Geologist Pat Abbott tells me landslides are a possibility, but nothing like this.
We're ripe for some, runoff-oriented floods and small, shallow landslides.
This type of landslide in 2005 happens after weeks of heavy rain soaking deep into the ground. Certainly not drought weather like we have now. Any type of slide La Jolla should expect would be nothing but a few plants, maybe.
The kinds of things that, unless there's a car or a person in the way, they're nuisance kinds of things as opposed to major destructive events.
Dan Haggerty, 10 News.
And these are some of the other areas that we are keeping our eye on during this storm. The wildfires ripped through Fallbrook and San Marcos area, the Carlsbad area, and the Bernardo fire in Rancho Bernardo last year, leaving these areas prone to mudslides, especially during heavy rain.
All right, now let's go to 10 News reporter Preston Phillips, who's live at the Midway District, where there has been a lot of flooding there tonight. Preston.
Gosh, guys, what a wild night. We're on Rosecrans right now. We're in a parking lot here. I mean, if you've been following my Twitter feed at 10 News Phillips, you've seen what we've been through tonight, and many of you too do the same thing. Downpours for 30 minutes at a time, then another 30 minutes, and then for possibly an hour. But this is what we're stuck with here, this big flood in this parking lot here. We're in the PetSmart parking lot on Rosecrans Drive, in between Midway and Sports Arena Boulevard. This is pretty much what's left of the flooding tonight. Most of the flooding that happened on Midway Drive near the post office and around that area has receded, gone into the storm drains. All of that's gone. Police had that area blocked off several blocks for hours tonight. They finally left that area, but this is what it kind of looked like on Midway when a lot of cars were stuck there as well. But this is the flooding that's pretty much left. This water has nowhere to go, and of course when that next round of rain comes in, depending on when that is, this is what the rest of the area will once again look like tomorrow. Of course, we're reporting live tonight from the Midway District. Preston Phillips, 10 News.
Yeah, heads up, tomorrow will not be any better. Thank you, Preston. And you can keep up with the changing storm conditions through our 10 News mobile app. You can just download it by searching 10 News in the App Store.